There's been 3 hotel robberies in 2 weeks, and people here in Boyle County say they're starting to get concerned.
There will soon be some help for drivers making their way through what has been a deadly curve along a Scott County road.
And hundreds gathered in Lexington this afternoon to honor union members and their families.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Labor Day. Is there a serial robber targeting hotels in Boyle County? In the last 2 weeks, half the town's hotels have been robbed. Police think it's the same guy, and based on his history, they think he could strike again in just a few days. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked with investigators and has more in this crime alert. It's our top story now at 5:30.
The first robbery happened almost 2 weeks ago at the Super 8 motel just off Highway 150. Exactly 5 days later, there was another one at the Comfort Suites across town.
Sounds like it's the same person on each one.
That's because when police were alerted of a holdup at the Hampton Inn again 5 days after the previous one, the description was nearly identical to the other two.
Each one describes a white or a light-skinned male wearing a dark hoodie and also wearing a blue bandana covering his face.
And in not every case did the robber get anything. The Comfort Suites clerk tells me that the man was told that she only had about $40 in her drawer. At that point, the man simply turned around and walked out. But other times, the man did get away with cash. So far, nearly half the hotels in Danville have been hit, and police say so far no one has been hurt. But police say it could happen. In fact, it did at a local restaurant nearly a year ago.
Young lady was, they tried to rob a Domino's and they shot her when she refused to give them money. I mean, it's always a possibility.
All the holdups are almost exactly 5 days apart, and they happen either late at night or early in the morning. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say the man will still face charges even though he did not take any cash because he still threatened to commit a crime. The intersection of Kentucky 227 and Duval Station Road in Stampin' Ground has been the site of many crashes through the years. As our Hillary Thornton reports, the Transportation Cabinet plans to help warn drivers in that area.
Due to that high number of crashes, families living out here along Kentucky 227 tell me they've lost track of how many times they've had to replace fences running along that dangerous curve.
The road is straight this way and that way, but this curve is just terrible.
Jeannie in Tackett says countless times she has looked out across their horse farm to see the aftermath of cars hitting head-on in the curve or a vehicle running off of the roadway and crashing into the fence line and trees.
Through the years, so many accidents have been there.
It has gotten so bad, she says they used to have a tree line of about 10 trees. That is now down to 2. And they also had to build a double fence along the roadway to help protect their horses.
They're thoroughbreds, so we have to be very careful that when they go through the fence, that we have to go down there and get them in.
While there has been that property damage and some injuries, unfortunately the curve has also claimed lives. Back in October, a crash killed 3 people, including a 3-year-old. Tackett says her husband has been to Frankfort at least twice over the years to try and get something done. So she says they are thrilled to hear about plans for warning signs. They just hope it is enough.
A guardrail would be wonderful. I don't know if people are going to pay any attention to the signs.
Still, she says the warning signs are better than nothing and will hopefully save some lives.
That will save other people from having to go through what these families are going through.
In Scott County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Well, Tackett tells us that cars often speed on that stretch of roadway and that when it rains, cars can easily slide in that curve. It has certainly been a hot start to our work week and for those Labor Day cookouts you might be at, but What's in store for the rest of our week? Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look now at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Amber. It is going to get a lot better if you like fall and you need some rain out there. Well, certainly the yards do. We're going to get that a little later on, too. Some areas getting under some popcorn showers and storms. Got one trying to pop up not too far away from the station into downtown Lexington, but we are looking at just a scattering of some showers and storms out there. Certainly nothing that is widespread. Greatest concentration has been right across the downtown Richmond area, and even there it's a very small little shower. Some additional development now parts of Garrett County back into Lincoln County as well. Folks around Eubank and the Waynesburg area, and southward we go along 27 into Somerset. Couple of drops here, a couple of drops on the Knox and Whitley County line. Overall, the flow is rather slow, so anything that pops up is going to be a very slow mover out there. As we roll ahead over the next several days, fall is ready to fight back into the bluegrass state. Big temperature drop coming up later this week toward the weekend. Thunderstorms are going to increase. That means our rain chances, obviously, Amber, are going to be much, much higher. Coming up in a little bit, we'll show you how a big dip in the jet stream will help us out in terms of some needed rain and some much cooler air. Finally going to feel the part of fall when I come back in a few.
Those are good changes, Chris. Thank you. While many spent their Labor Day enjoying the day off, the Floyd County Sheriff's Department was out trying to make the county safer. The Floyd County Sheriff and his deputies spent their day arresting those accused of dealing drugs. The sheriff says they were looking to arrest 9 people Monday afternoon, and they were able to get more drugs off the streets. The sheriff says combating the drug problem in the Floyd County area is one of the most important things his department does.
Jobs, but school children, the thieving, the burglary, the drugs has an impact in so many different areas that it's so important that we try to tackle it and at least make some impact.
5 arrests were made in today's roundup. One unrelated to drugs was made as well. Martin City Police and the Wayland City Police are helping deputies locate others. It was a frightening situation for a busload of people this afternoon after an e-cigarette caused a bomb scare. It happened along I-75 in Laurel County. Kentucky State Police say a passenger at the back of the bus had a tackle box and was putting together an e-cigarette. Another passenger on the bus thought he was putting together a bomb and alerted the driver. The bus pulled over on I-75 and everyone was evacuated until troopers could come and question those involved. No charges were filed and the bus was quickly back on the road and moving again. There will be a special tribute tomorrow for a murdered mother and daughter. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Nelson County. Bardstown Elementary will dedicate their new playground to Kathy Netherland at 3 tomorrow afternoon. She taught special education at the school. She and her daughter Samantha were found dead in their home in April of 2014. No arrests have ever been made in their murders. In Clark County, a man accused of kidnapping and raping a 10-year-old has pled guilty. According to the Winchester Sun, James Bullock entered the plea and agreed to serve 30 years for kidnapping, rape, and sodomy. Winchester police say they found Bullock with the girl hiding underneath his home last year. Police say he admitted to sexually abusing the child. Bullock must serve 85% of his sentence before he is eligible for parole. And in Knox County, prosecutors will not seek the death penalty for one of 3 people accused in a woman's murder. Jonathan Taylor, along with 2 others, faces murder charges in the 2010 beating deaths of Catherine Mills. The Corbin Times-Tribune reports prosecutors took the death penalty out of the case because of the results of Taylor's IQ test. The case is scheduled to go to trial next Monday. It was a difficult rescue for crews in Bath County after a car went off the roadway and landed on its side. Salt Lick fire and rescue crews were called to the single vehicle accident on Highway 60 near 826 because of where the vehicle landed. Crews say it was difficult to get to the victim. They had to crawl in through the back of the vehicle and cut out the seats. The victim was flown to the hospital. The victim's condition is unknown at this time. Someone in Frankfort woke up $2 million richer today. Lottery officials say a winning $1 million Powerball ticket was sold for last night's drawing, and because the winner paid the extra dollar for power play, that $1 million ticket is now worth $2 million. The lottery office is closed for Labor Day but will open at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The winner has 180 days to claim that prize. Well, many of you are still talking about this weekend's UK football game and the bizarre incident involving a drone that crashed into Commonwealth Stadium. At 4, we told you about a new app that the FAA is testing that might help drone operators. So it's the focus of today's Good Question. We're asking, what is the app before you fly and how does it work? Well, the drone incident Saturday night at the new Commonwealth Stadium has led to renewed discussions about drones, their usage, and the rules and regulations surrounding them. The FAA is currently testing a new smartphone app called Before You Fly. It was released to 1,000 testers on August 28th. Those testing the app include folks in industry work, the government, and the public. So when using a drone, users, if they have this app, will receive messages like this in an effort to help them become more aware of where they can and cannot fly the machines. It will notify users of when they're too close and when they need to notify air traffic control of their location. Again, they're just testing this app right now. Coming up at 6, WKYT's Sean Moody is going to have more on drones and all of those rules and regulations surrounding them. Players of one sport from all over the world have been in Lexington this past weekend. The 2015 World Championships of Professional Foosball kicked off last Wednesday at the Clarion Hotel on Newtown Pike. The event hosted players as young as 5 years old all the way up to 65 years. The event normally is held in Dallas. It was moved to Lexington for the first time this year. And organizers say with over 500 players and spectators, it's been one of their biggest events.
This is the largest turnout in Worlds in the last 10 years. Lexington was a great host city for this event.
Organizers tell us they gave out more than $65,000 in cash, tables, trophies, and jackets during the tournament this weekend. Hundreds of people gathered in Lexington today to honor union members and their families. The annual Bluegrass Central Council Labor Day picnic was held in the Masterson Station Park. The day's events included door prizes, activities for kids, vendors' booths, as well as plenty of other fun things. But promoters say the festivities are meant to honor the people working.
Labor is the fabric and the backbone of the United States, and we're trying to get that message out. That's what moves America.
In addition to the picnic, there was also a car, motorcycle, and tractor show.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The menu at some Labor Day picnics is packed full of politics. Presidential hopefuls are attending barbecues and walking in parades as the race for the White House gets hotter on the traditional end of the summer holiday. Hillary Clinton is hoping to turn over a new leaf heading into the fall as she's now trailing Bernie Sanders in a key early voting state and losing ground to Sanders in another. Greg Boswell brings us up to speed from Washington.
Bernie Sanders began his Labor Day having breakfast with AFL-CIO members in New Hampshire, and he's building his lead in the Granite State. The latest poll shows Sanders at 49% and Hillary Clinton at 38%.
It's not just our poll numbers. I think the energy, the enthusiasm our campaign is generating is really, really growing.
The Vermont senator is gaining ground in Iowa, too, where Clinton is working hard on this holiday, also meeting with union members.
You go, girl.
She remains the front-runner in Iowa, but her lead has been cut in half. During a stop in Pittsburgh, Vice President Joe Biden was asked if he's getting in the race.
You got to talk to my wife about that. I've got to talk to my wife about that.
He started off the day with union leaders and fired up steelworkers.
When the middle class does well, the wealthy do very well, and the poor have a way up. So organize, organize, organize. God love you.
If Biden runs, he'll need to raise money quickly, and labor unions have traditionally opened up wallets for Democrats, giving $61 million to the party in 2012. Biden says he'll make a decision by the end of the summer. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Richard Trumka, the AFL-CIO president who marched with Vice President Biden, said he didn't know if Biden would run or not.